idea for just doing a small little study, and it's of Tre Cime, and I printed it in black and white just on regular paper because I just want it to have as a reference to draw from. So there's that. And what I'm going to do now is mix some colors and try to figure out a palette. I'm going to do a pretty limited palette, maybe something kind of along the lines of this blue painting back here. And then see if I can figure out kind of a form that I want to play with these paintings, and just experiment a little bit with the composition and all that stuff. Paint handling and everything. So I'm using this Gamblin Fast Map paint, and it is oil paint, but it dries really fast, and so it'll allow me to build up layers and do the underpainting a lot quicker. I really like it. It's probably some of my favorite paint to use. Alright, here I go. So I'm just going to use a little mineral spirits and draw it in. Just a rough idea. I'm not going to be very careful about measuring or anything. I don't want to get hung up on all the details of this. I don't know. My idea might be to have this be a little bit more abstracted and less sort of rendered. Sort of the whole point of this little study is that I wanted to figure out an approach to how I want to handle this. I want it to be representational enough so that you know where it is, but not so much that it's a totally representational painting. That's the trick, as far as I'm concerned. The thing is, I have never painted this before, so it's all trial and error. Kind of what I'm doing now is I'm just trying to, every mark I'm making, I'm just trying to think of what I'm trying to accomplish here. I'm trying to feel out the form kind of what I'm doing. So I worked on this painting a lot last night and got it to this point. It was too dark to film in here, so anyways, now I'm starting again today. And I just kind of laid in an underpainting, and I'm gonna keep plugging away at it. Just putting a glaze over this fast matte paint, and that should unify the whole surface, and then I'm going to work back into it with the regular oil paint. Something I used to do in the past a lot with the donkey paintings especially, and a lot of them, but I haven't done it in a while. I've been painting more direct in the last, I don't know, year or so. The one reason I like doing it is because it unifies everything. And if you have any little white areas in your canvas from the underpainting, it takes care of those. That way you don't have little weird edges and little areas where the tooth of the canvas didn't get filled in with paint. So I'll let that sit a little bit, and then I will come back and wipe it down just a little bit. I don't want it to be too wet when I'm working on it. So now this sat for a little bit, and I'm gonna wipe it off so that it's not too wet. And it kind of unified the whole thing, and now it'll be a lot easier to kind of work into. And I think I wanted to change the color a little bit from what I had and make it a little bit more intense. Have the colors be a little bit more pure and less gray. I kind of figured that out from doing this little study last night, and I didn't really film this because it's too dark at night to film. But as you can see, I did this little study, and that helped me to figure out a little bit more of a direction I wanted to go with this. They're both studies. I really like working on this paper. It's this Arches oil paper, and you don't need to prime it or put anything on it. You can paint right on it, and I've used it a lot. I used it for a lot of the house series and little studies and stuff that I do. I like it because, you know, it's just a piece of paper in the end, and you don't have this canvas to deal with. Something about working on a canvas makes it seem more important, and you don't want to mess it up as much. So these little paper things, I feel that I'm always a lot freer with them, and you know, there's nothing really at stake except for just kind of losing one of these pieces of paper. And anyways, I really like that stuff, and it comes in a couple different sizes. I think it even comes in rolls. It comes in a size bigger than that. And it's a great way to work out ideas without having to, you know, feel the need to finish a canvas or complete what you're doing. You can just kind of work out an idea and then that's it. It's on paper, and they always turn out a lot fresher, I think, in some way. So ideally, I would like to be able to work really big like that and feel like there wasn't as much at stake. But it always feels like there's more at stake when you get a stretch canvas that, you know, costs a lot more money. I'm gonna get this thinner off of here, but not take too much of the color off. I think that's pretty good. And I will let that dry a little bit now for maybe like 15 minutes. And then I'll start working into it. Now I'm going to work back into it and try to keep my colors even a little bit more intense and a little less gray. Right now I'm going in and I'm just blocking in some of these dark and light values. And I'm kind of losing a lot of the stuff I did before, but that's alright. I'll bring it back later. And I'm just using a palette knife so that I can be really loose about it and not too nitpicky. But I also don't want it to look like a palette knife painting. So I gotta be careful of that.